It was exactly like you mentioned. Red Arrow Park is really one of those pinnacle public spaces right in the center of our city. And really, there was an opportunity to collaborate again with our partners at the city and the county when some funding was opened up for some design work to look at the future of Red Arrow Park. Red Arrow Park, again, is one of those gathering spaces that's so important in downtown Milwaukee. And but also, as our public spaces, continue to be so important, we also have to look at how can we continue to sort of reinvent them and look at new ideas and continue to activate them.
So why does this matter? What isn't Red Arrow Park doing for our community right now?
Red Arrow Park is really one of those great spaces. Obviously, it's one of our prime winter activations when the slice of ice and the ice skating rink is open.
I was just going to say, like, people are skating. People, like, there's the tree lighting. It's a nice space to gather in the summertime, have a little lunch.
That's exactly right. And I think one of the things that you hit on the head was with the ice skating rink. Again, one of those prime spots that people seek out, but that the infrastructure essentially was installed in the late 1990s. So if you look at ice skating rinks overall, as newer technologies come out, and we're really looking for an opportunity through this design process, that being a centerpiece of the park, but how can that be, further activated all year round? Obviously, we as an organization do a lot of activation there. You mentioned the holiday lights that we do there. We also have our lunchtime concert series and a variety of other partnerships there. But currently, in its current form, when there's not those additional activations, sometimes the park can be a little bit more of a pass-through than a destination. And I think through this design process, we have a real opportunity with a lot of public engagement to find out what will make it sort of a regular destination for you. If it might be, the ice skating rink's not open, or there's not a lunchtime concert series, or whatever that may be.
It's interesting that you say it's a pass-through because, it is one of those things like, okay, I'm going to cut through here, or I'm going to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not... Other than an event, an ice skating, it is a pass-through. It is nice to have some green space in the city.
It really is.
And I also think it's interesting that it's been where it is, right there on Water Street, across from the Marcus Performing Arts Center, as long as I've known it. But this isn't... Red Arrow Park has evolved before.
Yeah, absolutely. So Red Arrow Park itself is an over 100-year-old park, but this is not its original location. Back in 1920, I believe it was actually located very near the Wisconsin Club in between 10th and 11th Street. But actually, I believe at that time was removed in the 50s when the freeway was installed. So the park was actually relocated to its current location in 1970. So it's been in that current iteration. It's continued to evolve over time, but it's been in that location since 1970.
I didn't realize exactly where it was before. I knew it had moved in 1970. So thanks for filling in that history. And speaking of history, Red Arrow Park, the name of it and the sculpture there preserve a special history.
That's a really great point. And that's one of the driving factors that we're really being make sure that's a primary goal is to really honor the Red Arrow Memorial as well as the Dontre Hamilton Memorial that's both in those parks. So as we're looking at design alternatives closely with the consultant team, those are certainly points that we want to not only further even enhance in their current configuration.
Because that's one of the beauties of public art, the sculpture that's just so stark. It's the arrow and almost looks like a person standing with their arms out. It's like, ooh, what is this? Is this a figure? Is this an animal? It's like, oh, I was enlightened that it was all to honor the U.S. Army's 32nd Infantry Division with Wisconsin and Michigan National Guard troops in World War I and World War II. Yeah. So it was one of those, I felt sheepish that I didn't know that, but then again, how would I? And that's where these public spaces can start those conversations and those appreciations for people's sacrifice.
That's exactly right. I think through this process, a lot of people are learning more about the history of the park and the evolution and even where the name came from. So that's a great point, and we're really leveraging that as we continue through this design process.
And to remember Dontre Hamilton, which was a tragic situation that happened there in the park, but didn't stop the park and is now part of its history in a thoughtful way.
Exactly. And again, a goal of this redesign process is to certainly honor that memory and continue to bring that forward and make sure it's a prominent piece of the park moving forward.
And certainly something that the community obviously wanted and that the city of Milwaukee downtown responded to.